Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Seventh Rule Star Trek Convention Edition with your stars, Aaron Eisenberg and Sirach Lofton. I'm Ryan T. Husk, and we are joined with Mindy and Brooke.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us on our show.
Thank you.
Hello.
They're coming in straight from Utah. They are in full cosplay gear just for us, even though convention's not for another month. They're practicing right now. How are you guys doing?
Sorry.
How are you?
Oh, I have to think about it. Sorry, there was a pause there, so I missed that. Yeah, we're doing good.
So Aaron, we were actually asking you questions kind of before we started recording. So just
I fail as a host for the show because I start talking and thinking of questions to ask ahead of time. So basically, I was just asking. Now I got to remember how I phrased that question. So the goal of a cosplayer in the general community of cosplaying, I was thinking that a couple different ideas that they may have. One, to literally be identical to the character that they are trying to cosplay, that they're trying to emulate, and be as close to that as they possibly can. Or two, do cosplayers tend to look for the most obscure character they could find to stump as many people as they can at the convention and have everybody guessing, gosh, which character is that? To be the most unique character. I think you mentioned one from an episode that you were saying, but she's the blonde Vulcan, but she's very obscure. So that made me think of that. Or three, are there cosplayers that try to kind of always put their own spin on who they are and what they feel on the character that they're cosplaying? You know, kind of like a band that might cover a song and not make a complete repetition of that song, but kind of put their own artistic spin on it. So that's what I was trying to get at is what is the general consensus of cosplayers' goals for when they are going to create a character for a convention?
Well, I think there's all of those goals that it depends upon the cosplayer. Like, but for me, like my goal when I'm cosplaying is to first off have fun, do something that I enjoy making, but then also connecting with other people. So I like it when somebody sees a cosplay and they experience a bit of a story, and then we can talk about it and I can make a friend. That's what I like doing. Yeah, and Brooke likes to go for the more obscure stuff. I do, or making up my own stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say in general, just as far as the majority of people, they like to go with a character, and this is what I personally do myself too, but I see a lot of other people go with a specific character and try and be as accurate as they can with the character and just go for like maximum recognizability. Places like the Star Trek convention where everything's already been done, then sometimes it's more fun to go with something that was only in one episode and it's a little bit more obscure, just because it hasn't been done to death yet. Has
everything already been done? And I'll tell you, I have not seen a Jake and Nog cosplay yet. I have not seen that.
You're right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So you come on our show and you tell us everything's been done. Jake and Nog have not been done.
Oh my gosh, true. We gotta do it. I guess I have to be Nog because I'm the short one.
There you go. Jake and Nog. Purple will be Jake's colors. Orange and yellow will be Nog's colors. Because you guys did a fabulous job behind Ryan. Ryan, show that picture, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for those of you looking at home, this is our friend Mindy Madsen. She's a Vulcan right now in live form. This is Brooke lifting up her skirt to reveal her wormhole.
Wow, Ryan. Wow.
No, I'm saying, look, there's Deep Space Nine and the wormhole. And actually, we'll bring up a picture of Brooke before, too, because when she puts the dress down, she's still dressed in like a Bajoran garb, like a Vedek or something like that. So it's like a full Deep Space Nine theme. It's really good. It's probably my favorite cosplay ever because of how creative it is.
Exactly.
When I saw it, I was just like blown away. I was like, that's so, I mean, it seems simple, but it's so brilliant, especially because if you look closely, there's a little Defiant in there. You know, there's like a Defiant going towards the wormhole.
No, somebody was cosplaying the Defiant on top of her. You just didn't know that. Yeah.
Like
Later, the Defiant undressed and got
a tiny little ship.
It was me, Ryan. It was me. And
it was super fun because nobody had done it before.
exactly.
And people just love it when you do something that nobody else has done.
Exactly.
Fun.
And that's kind of what was inspiring my question, because you're not, you know, when people normally think of cosplay, right? They think of characters. They think of Kira, Dax, Janeway, you know, Tuvok, Kirk, or Gorn, you know, or they certain outfits from different episodes. But they don't take the idea of literally DS9 and two iconic images within DS9, which is the station and the wormhole, you know, and that's, you know, that's pretty awesome.
And this costume was Brooke's idea. She likes to go for the more obscure, abstract. And so she wanted to do the wormhole. And I said, well, if you do the wormhole, then I will be the DS9 station.
Now, did you think maybe you'll be the Defiant?
No, oh. I never thought that. I just thought,
You know, speaking of which, actually, speaking of obscure, I believe Miss Brooke Wilkins, you were the one that, who did you do it with? Did you do it with Lisa Hansel? They played two officers that were in mid-transport.
Oh yeah, that was me too.
It was the
See?
I remember first seeing it at the Hilton way back in the day.
Yeah.
And they were actually, you know, they were being transported, you know, and so they're midway through being disintegrated. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was a super fun costume too, because again, nobody else had done it.
Right.
So it was just so fun. It's so fun to do something unique, which is hard to do at the Star Trek convention because so many things have been done other than Jake and Nog.
Exactly. Thank you. Somebody could be Jeff Goldblum and another person could be a fly, you know?
Yeah.
Or Jeff Goldblum should go to a con and have somebody dress up as a fly next to him.
That would be hilarious.
And then say, I'm not Jeff Goldblum, but I damn look like Jeff Goldblum, don't I? God, that's a good cosplay.
I have a question for you. You know, I often notice that some of the people that are there dressed up in cosplay are wearing these provocative kind of outfits that sometimes are revealing. And my question is how you overcome your own kind of shyness or, you know, not willingness to display yourself and just fully take on these kind of risks to really come out there and sometimes walk around half naked.
Well, I think it's very much like acting. I mean, how do you take on the another character, another person, and portray them? You just jump into it and do it, right? And if you got to have the confidence and fake it if you don't, right?
Yeah.
I don't do that though. I'm really clothed.
Okay.
Except for this year.
So this is what they look like before the dress comes up. This is what Brooke looks like. You know, she's got her Vedek thing up here. She's got the full dress. Looks totally normal. Everything's cool. You've got this thing, and then suddenly she lifts this thing up, and it's just this giant wormhole. So it's like a double cosplay, you know?
Yeah, I thought that was that's probably my favorite all-time look that I saw. The wormhole. I thought it was just amazing.
So creative.
So creative, so original. Never seen it before.
You don't always see it, and so that's why I built it that way. So you don't always see the wormhole, and so if you're until the wormhole opens, and then you can see it. So that was the idea behind that. So
Now, how did you design the inside of that? How did you make that?
It's feather boas and fairy lights. So.
Can you do us a favor and speak up a little bit? I don't know if you guys are hearing them okay,
sure.
but we're not hearing you too well, Brooklyn.
Okay, we'll sit closer. Yeah. No, it was just feather boas and fairy lights. So.
You should have lifted it up and then the Defiant flew out of you. You shot a Defiant.
Yeah, electronics.
Now that's a good question. So in the development of cosplay, do cosplayers ever add, I know that they've added like lights and some technology in that, but has there been a development and a growth in cosplay with technology that have enhanced and taken cosplay to another level where you're like, darn it, I didn't think of that and I didn't do that, and you go home, oh, I hate her. She always comes with the new technology, or him, whoever it be.
It's cloning.
3D printing is revolutionizing stuff, and I wish I had a 3D printer.
Yeah. So money comes into play too for cosplaying.
Yeah.
And now does that seep into the competitions, which, you know, that, you know, if you're competing and you're like, I can't compete with somebody who can buy all of that, and then they just buy it and they look literally identical versus those that actually create their wardrobes. Is that a issue amongst cosplayers of in a competition sense when they do?
It's not a competition because some of them require you to do a certain percentage of it yourself.
Gotcha.
So it depends on the competition.
So some competitions say it must be at least 50 or 60 or 70% made. You can't just go buy something, wear it, and show up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, but I've done doing competitions. I like doing it for the fun of it and just playing.
Yeah.
So I don't compete.
Gotcha. Sirach and I are going to start competing, so we're trying to get all this information.
If you cosplayed as yourselves, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, you guys have no problem with taking a lot of pictures because people come up to you all the time and want to take pictures with you. Is that right?
That is part of the deal.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
And it's something that you enjoy, even though it takes away a little bit from your ability to enjoy the con, right?
Well, yes, but once you've been to the Star Trek convention a few times, it's a little bit kind of the same every year. And so it's fun to have something else to do. And for me, to be honest, it's kind of like being one of the celebrities.
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
You are.
Yeah.
The people you don't know come up and want a picture with you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have a certain spot you always go to first and hang there for like 30 minutes so you get a lot of them out of the way?
Oh, I just wander around.
Gotcha.
I'm
How
the repair table nowadays.
How long does it take for you to find pictures of yourself online with other people that wanted to take photos?
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
The vast majority of them you never see because if it's somebody you don't know, then it's going to be in their photo album on Facebook and you'll never know about it. But then there's some of them that you have friends in common and they tag you. Or if it's a friend of yours, then you'll find a picture later. But the majority of them you never see.
Never see.
You know, I want to change the channel a tiny bit and get more deeply into the Star Trek convention itself. Tell us when you first started going to the convention. This is a 9-tiered question, by the way, Aaron. I feel like guys ask questions on stage to the stage. They go, "This is a 9-part question."
Yeah.
No, but we'll just make it.
I do that. I do. I ask a lot of questions in one question. I'm trying to get better at that.
It's more like a 2-part question. One is, you know, kind of when and why you got into going to the Star Trek convention, and then just tell us a little bit about what you like about it. What makes it like a special thing that you just can't miss every year.
Well, the first con was in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, going to the con is going to be our 10-year anniversary of going.
Wow.
But yeah, the first con, I didn't know they were still doing Star Trek conventions, or I would have gone even earlier.
Yeah, interesting.
But I saw that movie Trekkie,
Uh-huh.
and I realized that this was still currently going on. I kind of thought Star Trek conventions had just gone, the way of everything.
We
So
went through the wormhole and never came back.
Yeah.
Well, and Mindy kind of dragged me to the first one.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine, I'll go.
Yeah.
Really? Why was that? Why were you not interested at first?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's a good question. I'd been to a convention when I was like 16, and I thought that was enough for me. So
Really? Why? Elaborate a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I had a good time, but then I was like, I'm done. That was fun. There we go. I didn't dress up at the first one or anything, and I didn't make friends. I had to leave early, so I couldn't hang around and talk to people. I didn't realize, because for me, what keeps me coming back is all of my friends and seeing the people and making those connections. And
so if they all went to a Seinfeld convention, would you go to that?
Yeah.
it depends.
Seinfeld is not nearly.
So it's more. There's more than just friends there.
Yeah.
This is, it's a big part of your life.
Friends,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is friends with a common interest, with common.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
we all love
Friends with benefits.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite aspect of the convention? Is it just seeing the friends? Is it going to Vegas? Is it just being surrounded by Star Trek?
Or the slot machines?
Vegas and the slot machines are, I'm
not interested in that at all.
I was kidding.
For the Star Trek and for the friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go, I do the cosplay repair booth, Garrick's tailoring shop. And for me, I love doing that and being able to help people with their costumes.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We actually wanted to mention that very specifically. One of the reasons you were one of the first people that we thought of is because Brooke here does she works a table for the entirety of the Star Trek convention, in which she is just fixing other people's cosplay for free. She just sits at this table for 23 hours a day. and anybody that has any wardrobe malfunction or a button that falls off or anything like that, they just go to her table in the vendor's room and they drop off their cosplay and pick it up an hour later and it's fixed, or she just fixes it on them. Even myself, I was going to buy a shirt, like a doctor
It was a science uniform
shirt or something like that. And it didn't, and it didn't fit, or I think it needed buttons or something like that. And I said, hey, if I buy this thing, like before I bought it, I said, Brooke, if I buy this thing, can you add buttons to it? She said, yeah, sure. Just drop it off for 30 minutes. So this lady does this for free out of the goodness of her heart. And that is such a Star Trek thing to do.
Well, actually, Creation sponsors the booth. Can you even believe it?
Wow.
But Creation sponsors it.
That's really nice of them to do that.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
I'm going to bring all my pants that need hemming.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I've got a pink shirt I need cleaned up, so that's fantastic.
Well, like yesterday, emergency repairs are our priority, but when we've got the time, we can do alterations.
Oh, wow.
Alterations is the next booth over. Big charge.
So we're just about out of time. So we're going to give the last question to Sirach here, because I know he's been dying to ask you guys a very specific question here before we run. So we're sorry to slow you down. Go ahead, Sirach.
Yeah. Specifically, how long have you guys been friends? And
I don't want to think about it.
We've been
really?
about 16, 17 years,
yeah.
something like that.
Oh, wow. And
back here, let's see.
Oh, yeah, the early days.
This is one of our first cosplays.
Okay.
It was Lord of the Rings.
There's
you can't see
too much
it.
glare.
Too much glare. There we
Okay.
go.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Looks like something from Salem.
No, Lord
Yeah. It does. It does.
So guys, it's
2001.
It's closer to almost 20 years. We're going on 20 years.
Wow.
Forever. How about just
That's
forever?
that's wonderful. That's really great.
That's
So
awesome.
those of you at home, if you go to the Star Trek convention or any convention in Utah and you see Brooke Wilkins and or Mindy Madsen, feel free to ask them for an autograph or a picture, and make sure you tag them on Facebook so they get their credit and their due. They do amazing stuff. Mindy also does like 7 of 9 and other cool things like that. Brooke does an excellent Major Kira. She's blonde right now, but she's usually got the perfect hair color for Major Kira. But thank you guys so much for joining us. You're always an absolute delight, and we can't wait to see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on our show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, just stick around for 5 seconds. We're going to say goodbye to the viewing audience, and then we're going to talk some business.